Peace, love, Goldn.Light. Today is Thursday, so I'm going to share with you what I've been writing in my journal, specifically for the journal prompt that was, how can you get to know yourself more? So I'm going to share some things that I do that helps me to get to know myself.
You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen, we about to write it down. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen, write it down.
You know what I'm about to say, right? Writing. Seriously, so writing allows me to reflect, sort, analyze, and this type of stillness where I'm able to listen and connect with my feelings, my emotions, my thoughts, my spirit, and also to commune with the Most High. Like everything that's happening within me gets translated to paper, right? So being able to release that I don't even know how else to explain it, but it's a form of meditation for me. So if I'm writing about a desire, if I'm writing about insecurity, if I'm writing about something that hurts me, if I'm writing about whatever I'm writing about, writing is just magical to me. So being able to release in a way that it goes on paper and then looking back at it when I'm not actually writing, it's the same thing that's happening that allows me to even connect more with my intuition. I know how I'm moving in certain spaces. This decision making, energy, like it's just something about me consistently writing and working on myself and using writing as a tool for that, that when I'm moving about day to day, even online, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain way that I'm aware of myself. I know where I want to go. I know what I need to stop. I know when I need to take a step back. I'm still trying to master all of that, but in spaces where I like make a mistake or whatever the case may be, I'm it's so much easier to grab the lesson without being so attached to the situation. Now some things are harder to do that with, but I write more. So I don't even know if I'm explaining that right, but that's how I'm releasing it to you right now. Writing is something that I've really seen with myself, where it's powerful, it's magical, it's transforming, right? And it's something that's so simple, writing. So yes, I feel like I just got a little hot. Nah. Another thing that helps me to get to know myself, being in tune with my emotions and things like that, being in tune with how I feel about something, as well as how far I can go in a sense, is being open to new experiences and opportunities, as well as facing things that I'm fearful of, right? Because once I allow myself to be brave enough to actually do it, it opens a whole new doorway about myself. So I'm expanding my perspective of myself. It's like almost feeling like you can't do something, but then you do it. And it's like, yo, I did that shit. Or where you are, how can I put this? So if I take an opportunity and I'm nervous about being before people, but I'm like, I got this. I suck it up and I do it. It pushes me to another level of my capabilities, right? So that's something that shows me that the more I'm doing things like that, even on a smaller scale, the more I'm doing that, I'm able to really understand Toya more, right? And also drop a book. And also find out things that I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Or places or situations where I change my perspective, I change my mind, right? And being able to notice that with myself. So yes, being open to new experiences and opportunities, doing things that I'm afraid to do. I've been doing a lot of that for the past few years. And where I am now is because of doing that. So it's scary, it can be, but when you got that fire up inside of you, it pushes you to do things that are fearful. how can I get to know myself more? Any type of grounding stillness is really helpful for me. So prayer and meditation is something that's another thing that's magical, another thing that's powerful, another thing that allows me to be in tune with my emotions, which sometimes feels like that's what drives us, right? So if you're sad, if you're happy, if you're excited, if you're upset, all these type of emotions, being able to understand them and feel them, because I'm not saying that, I'm not even going to try to tell myself I should not feel this way. I should always be happy. No. It feels good to be angry sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to be, not, I won't say feel good, like I want to be that, but using the energy, like anger has such a loud and strong energy that if it's not tamed in a sense, it can lead to destruction. But when you can harness the energy that comes from anger and turn it into something else, is really good. The same way that you can have the way you feel when you feel loved, or the feeling of love and things like that, how that creates, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how they say pain can create beautiful things and things like that. That's what I mean about it feels good to be anger. It feels good to be angry. So where was I going with this? Let me look at my book. So meditation, prayer, that stillness, being in tune with how I'm feeling, how I'm viewing things, the questions that I'm asking, how I'm exploring in this other realm within myself, is powerful for me, and it allows me to understand myself more. Of course, coming out of certain meditations, you know what I'm saying, like if I'm physically separated, because you can meditate all the time. I'll be driving and meditating. You know what I'm saying? I'll be washing dishes and meditating, in the shower meditating, you know. But when I really set it apart to be like isolated and things like that, being able to listen, like it's that stillness that I need to listen. It allows me, like, this is what I know what works for me. And it's like when I'm watching the outcome of me being consistent and obedient to my spirit to do certain things, and what's being produced from that, it's kind of like addicting. Like, keep doing what keeps you solid, keep doing what keeps you whole, you know what I'm saying? So these are the things that works for me. And when I'm not doing these things, I see how I operate, I see how I move, I see how I feel like I'm a little bit out of control of myself, right? So this is getting more in tune with myself, understanding my emotions, understanding these things is really helping me to move about in life, how I want to live my life, how I want to create my life. So meditations, reflecting on past experiences and grabbing the lesson of that. So being in this still state and being able to travel to a time and place, a memory, a situation, a feeling, and being able to feel that emotion as if you're still there, but it's all happening here. It's almost like I'm watching myself. I can sit down and I can watch myself, and I'm absorbing. I was feeling it. I was like, my eyes is closed. But being able to be outside of myself, be that bird on the top branch and really look. It's like watching a movie of myself in a sense, because when we watch things, we judge things, we have opinions about things. So I do that with myself. And meditation allows me to do that, and it's powerful. Another thing that I would say is isolation. So taking a break from social media, taking a break from large groups, whether it's physical or virtually or whatever the case may be, being home. You know, this year a lot of us have been home, and this is something that really allowed me to elevate even more, you know. And then just consumption, like not just physical consumption, like the things that I'm consuming mentally, emotionally, spiritually, taking a break from those things and like closing out, so that I'm able to really hear. I think that's my thing, like being able to constantly hear me, hear my spirit, hear what the Most High has for me. You know what I'm saying? So as isolation does help. Now, I'm saying isolation, right? But what I'm about to say next is like complete opposite. But it's still a way for me to get to know myself. So in isolation, I really get to know myself when I separate myself and do things like that when it's needed. But that's not like all the time. It may be a period of time, but it happens. But on the other side of that, being able to link up with other people, speak with other people, build with other people, gathering with other people is also another way that I learn myself, right? And sometimes it's almost feeling like that's when I put self to test in a sense. So here's a situation. Are you going to face that fear that you was working on in isolation? Here's a temptation. Are you going to face that as you was working on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's how, like, I'm doing the work, I'm proving it, but here, can I fulfill the action of it, right? So that's a way that I'm connected with myself, because I'm using these situations, my experiences that I'm creating off of the decisions that I'm making, to gauge myself, my progress, analyze all that type of stuff, because you got to spend time paying attention to yourself. The way we watching other things on other people, when you're doing that with yourself, it's a different type of rhythm to how you move, but you also see yourself in other people. So like, that helps me to, speaking to somebody is like, oh, something clicks for you. You may watch something that I've done and just, it clicks for you, right? And that's when you continue on your journey. You know what I'm saying? So gathering, connecting, vibing with people, being with like-minded people, and sometimes being in spaces where you don't connect gives you another way to analyze. Perspective is everything. So how you're looking at things that's happening to you is either going to be a power play, it's either going to be a gem, it's going to be a key to unlock a door, or it's going to keep you in this place of confusion where you're physically boxing yourself because you're not allowing yourself to expand situations. Like, that's the power, that's the control, that how we should be moving, but we're stuck in controlling things that we can't control, right? So if I'm over here like a master of myself, moving, and you know what I'm saying, it's to my benefit. But anyway, I'm going into other things. That's all I got. So if this content resonated with you, if you enjoyed as far as you got through this video, like this video, share the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Small little things that makes a big difference in so many different ways. On Sunday, I'm going to have a whole new prompt. Y'all know how it goes, right? So until then, my sugar babies, peace and love.
You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen, we about to write it down. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen, write it down.